Yo, Shortbox Nation. Hello again. Welcome back and happy new comic book day. You know the deal by now. It's another Wednesday. It's another new podcast. Thank you for pressing play today. If you're new, welcome to the show. My name is Bodder, and this is the Shortbox Podcast, the comic book talk show that brings you the best conversations about your favorite comics with the creators that put their blood, sweat, and tears into making them. This is episode 458. And you know what makes today or this week so special? Is that this episode is dropping on the same day that the best new superhero series in the universe is debuting. Okay, it's not quite about a superhero per se, but nonetheless, I'm talking about Battlebeast #1. It's in comic shops right now if you're hearing this. It's the most in-demand Invincible story of all time, and it's reuniting superstars Robert Kirkman and Ryan Ottley together once again for more Invincible goodness. And what's better than that? Actually, I'll tell you what's better than that. How about having said superstar comic creators on the short box to talk about the new Battlebeast series? If that sounds good to you, let's waste no time and bring in our esteemed guest, Shortbox Nation. Without further ado, let's welcome Robert Kirkman and Ryan Ottley to the show. Robert, Ryan, welcome to the show. How are y'all doing today?
Good to be here.
Hell to the yeah. Look, I know that you guys have a very busy media day going on, so I'm just going to jump into my questions. I just know that it is amazing that you guys are here. I know the listeners right now are probably losing their mind. They're like, holy shit, how did Bodder not F this up? Wow, he actually did something good this time. Robert, this one is for you. Considering that this is the first Invincible comic that we've had in like close to 7 years, the first time we've seen Battlebeast in maybe just as long, how long have you had this story in mind? And why would you say now is the right time for it to see the light of day? And I guess, can you let us know, like, what can Invincible fans of new and old expect from this series?
Gosh, why now? Ryan was available and wanted to work with me again. I guess this is the main reason.
God bless you, Ryan.
It doesn't hurt that the Invincible series is as popular as it is. I think the show's firing on all cylinders and people seem to be really enjoying it, and we're having a lot of fun working on it. But, to be able to do a comic again, to be able to tell more stories with Battlebeast, Ryan and my like pretty much favorite character in the Invincible Universe. It's a lot of fun, and I think that fans who are going to be picking this up. It's a regular monthly series. We've got some cool stuff planned. I think that, if you're looking at issue 1, you've got no idea where this series is going to go. It is going to, introduce all kinds of new aspects of the Invincible Universe. A lot of, stalwarts of the Invincible Universe are going to be showing up when you least expect it. If you like Invincible in any form, this book is going to be pretty cool. So I highly recommend people check it out. Please, dear God, for me, buy this comic.
Robert, look, 100 points off the bat for that very detailed and amazing answer. I would have also given you the same amount of points if you would have just said Battlebeast. More Battlebeast, enough said. That would have been it right there. But thank you. Ryan,
can we edit this down to that?
I can see what I can do in post for you.
Right.
Ryan, this next one is specifically for you. You've gone on record saying that you created Battlebeast. At the time, issue 19, he makes his appearance in Invincible. But at the time, you made him specifically to like beef up Invincible's rogue gallery. He needed more rogues, so you created this badass character that has kind of gone on to like have a cult following. I guess in your mind or in your words, like, what is it about Battlebeast that you think has garnered such like acclaim? Like, what is it about this character that he deserves his own series? And if you don't mind, maybe taking just a walk down memory lane. What was going through your mind when you were creating the character? Like, were you like drawing on any inspirations or anything specifically?
Well, just to be clear, it's Robert and I co-created Battlebeast for sure. So yeah, it wasn't just me, that's for sure. But he called
writer cred.
What's that?
Hashtag writer cred. Everyone always forgets the
For
writer.
sure.
Yeah, everyone always forgets the poor writer. They're always left out of all media.
Just a long history of neglect right there.
Poor writers, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Kirkman gave me a call. I mean, he just said, hey, we need a bigger rogues gallery for issue 19. So a big white lion with some kind of Jack Kirby-esque type of armor, samurai type thing. And so normally when I hear that, I try not to look up anything that they say that he says that it's like. So if he says Jack Kirby stuff, ignore Jack Kirby stuff, because I don't want it to look like, I don't want people to look at it and go like, oh wow, it's kind
That's
of
some Jack Kirby stuff.
with the cool, because Jack Kirby has amazing design, and I don't want it to look like that. It needs to look like some Ottley thing,
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of think about it in that way, but I don't take any details from Jack. But I just went with this weird design, which actually morphed as we in issue 19, it was that certain design. Mm-hmm. And then once we drew him again, what was it, like 4 or 5 years later with issue 55? Yeah. Where he comes back in the story. And there's some elements that I just didn't like. I got better at that time. And so I tweak things. And I do that throughout the whole series, where I'm like, I don't like the way I designed it. Yeah. I'm going to do some little tweaks here and there. So, and I don't remember if I've answered your question or not. So there you go.
No, A+ answer on that one. I guess all right. So the last time we got Invincible ended in 2018, and then from there, you guys have both kind of gone on to have amazing careers. You created, worked on plenty more comics, worked with other creative teams, etc. I guess thinking, in the creation of this new Battlebeast series, did it feel like just wearing like an old jacket, like your best jacket? Did it feel like, just was the process the same as when you guys were, in the core days of Invincible? Did you come to the table, I guess, any new ideas or new skills or tools based on just having worked on so many more comics past Invincible? I guess, Ryan, if you don't mind, or sorry, Robert, if you don't mind taking that first.
I mean, I'll jump in and say, I think one of the cool things about this is that Ryan is inking himself, which is something that he did sporadically on Invincible, never like consistently for a long duration. And so seeing him complete the pages all on his own, and the different level of inking techniques that he's incorporated into his work, and just how complex and detailed the pages have become, was pretty awesome. To go so long without working with him, and then for him to come back with this like extra level of like craft, and be stronger, bigger, better than what he was before, was pretty exciting for me. But yeah, I mean, we have a shorthand. I've developed this with all of the artists that I work with regularly, but it's nice to be able to do kind of somewhat sporadic, like sparse is the word I'm looking for. Sparse scripts that I know Ryan is going to be able to kind of turn into absolute awesomeness. So I don't have to, I can say, Battlebeast is breaking a spaceship over his knee. I don't have to say Battlebeast is throwing the ship down over his knee, and the ship is splitting in half, and the pieces are flying, and there's debris and blah blah blah. It's like, there's certain levels of script I write for people I haven't worked with, and then once we get into this like working relationship, I know what they bring to the page, and I don't have to ask for certain things because I know Ryan is just going to do it. And so that's very freeing. And it's also a fun back and forth. Ryan's very vocal on, what he wants to draw and what he doesn't want to draw. And, over the years, I've, keyed in on that. And I do feel like I'm in his service to try and make him as excited as possible to draw the pages, so that my excitement will transfer to his excitement, will transfer to the reader's excitement. And so that's something that we try to do. But if there's ever a sequence that Ryan feels like he needs to, punch up, or that I haven't quite delivered to his liking, he's a phone call away, and we always work through it. And we've added some scenes and beefed things up, with his ideas on this series, and it's been a lot of fun, collaborating to that level, and feeling like we're working in tandem to craft the best comic possible.
Nice. Ryan, did you want to add anything to that? Has your process changed, I guess, any after all these years being away from the property, coming back to it with Battlebeast?
Yeah, not changed too much. I still do. I found a really good way of doing this. While I was doing Invincible, it used to be like a bunch of layers, like 5 different layers that I have to work on. Where it's like, this is before digital, and so it would be like, thumbnail sketch, and then I would draw it on the bigger page with an HB or a blue pencil, and then an HB layer on top of that, and then another final pencil, and then ink and all that stuff. And the whole goal is you have to get faster and you have to get better. And so that's probably one of the most difficult things to do. Right. And so you have to try to drop those layers down. So now I've got, I do the digital layer and then I print it out and I do quick pencils and then I ink over that. And I don't get super detailed with my pencils. And that's what, for me, makes it so fun because I get to get really creative with the inking process. So, and I've inked, like I always ink my own covers on Invincible. I got an inker around issue, what was that, 52? So like, I inked myself on the first 40 issues. And it was so nice.
40 issues before you, I forgot completely.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, it was very difficult. Yeah. And so you have to get this deadline style down. As I think Todd McFarlane coined that phrase, which is very true. You have to get a deadline style. And this Battlebeast, I spend a little more time on these. So hopefully we can definitely keep up once they start going. I think we're going to be fine. But it's definitely more detail, more ink slinging, and just some crazy shit. Yeah.
I'm excited. Ryan, if I may extend a compliment to you. Yesterday, I reread the issue where Alan and Nolan do the jailbreak scene, and then, they obviously free Battlebeast too. And you ink that issue. And I got to say, it is still, I don't know when that particular issue came out, years now, but it is still such a beautiful comic book. I think, you inking your stuff, you just have a knack for what, certain weights and the lighting and just the angles. I mean, I'm excited to hear that you're also inking Battlebeast. So looking forward to that. But that issue was awesome, rereading it again.
And we also had FCO Placencia on colors for the issue, and he just makes me look very pretty.
Brilliant. So. Absolutely. Okay, this is a question for both of you, and Robert, maybe you take this one first. But Battlebeast in the animated series is voiced by Star Trek royalty, right? Mr. Worf himself, Michael Dorn. And the show, in general, is stacked with some amazing actors voicing characters from Invincible. I wonder, do you have a favorite voice actor on the show? Is there like a specific character or actor that matches or closely matches the voice that you had in your head when you were, doing Invincible and creating these characters?
I mean, a favorite voice? Like, come on, man. I can't answer that. I know these people, and I have to work with these people regularly. To single one of them out on some kind of public interview would be I can never say that Walton Goggins is my favorite. Like, what are you? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. What are you guys talking about? But no, I don't know. I mean, I think that there's so many great actors, and I purposefully try not to get too married to what I'm picturing voice wise when I'm writing a comic, or to have too solid of a thought of what the audio version of their voice should be, because I like being able to be open casting wise, and see who's available and see what would be the best fit, and and I think I don't know. I mean, it's worked out great. I think that we couldn't have found a better cast for the show.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we always approach each character as who could we get? Could it be this person? Could it be that person? And kind of discovering the voices that way.
I think one of my favorite aspects of the show is kind of going into every episode blindly and just, seeing if I could recognize a voice. When I heard Mahir Alash Ali speak, it was like, whoa, is that who I think it is? And you pause the episode and Amazon lets you know, like, yeah, buddy, it is who it is. Ryan, same question to you. Who are some of your favorite voice actors of the show?
I mean, when I read the book, you have these certain voices that you're reading, but it's never anything like these actors. And so to me, this is all better. I mean, Seth Rogen as Alan, it's just awesome. It's so perfect. And I'm like, oh, now I want to read the whole thing over again and just kind of imagine those voices and all of them. I bet it's a totally different, better experience. So yeah.
Well said.
He's great. They're all great. There's so many great ones.
Oh yeah, too many to choose from, at least for this short interview. All right, I'm gonna move on, and I want to kind of zoom out to talk about Image really quick, because 2 weeks ago was the 33rd anniversary of the first comic released by Image Comics, it being Rob Liefeld's Youngblood, and it got me thinking about some of my favorite Image Comics and just characters throughout the years. And I ended up having a debate with my co-host here about who would end up being on like the Image Comics Mount Rushmore. And we went between maybe having it as a creator Mount Rushmore or a character Mount Rushmore. But I would just be curious to hear for your personal Image Comics Mount Rushmore, whether it be you could choose creator or do a character, who would be on that Mount Rushmore? So 4 slots.
Ooh,
4 slots?
That's
damn.
how many are on Mount Rushmore? Unless you make it the the Superman Zod Mount Rushmore and laser engrave a 5th one.
I could do a 5th one, but my answer is pretty simple. Rob was the originator. Rob was the guy who named Image Comics. He was the guy who kind of got the ball rolling. He got the ball rolling. I've been talking for like 7 hours, but
it works.
He got the ball rolling and
balls roll
and initiated the whole thing. And so he, legendary creator. He's definitely up there. And then I think the other guys are the guys that, stood the test of time and are still very much a huge part of the company. It's the remaining founders, which are, Todd McFarlane, Mark Silvestri, Eric Larson, and Jim Valentino. I think that you can't downplay Eric Stevenson's importance in the entire history of Image Comics. Sure. From his work with Jim Valentino very early on to then Rob Liefeld and Extreme Studios, and then coming back as the marketing director in the early 2000s and being instrumental in kind of ushering Walking Dead into existence and helping that book like find its audience. And and then, essentially being co-publisher with Eric Larson during his tenure and then becoming publisher when Eric, ended his run. And he's now been the publisher for well over 10 years. I don't keep track of time very well, maybe longer than that. Yeah. He might be the longest tenured publisher of the company. Wow. But yeah, I don't know. And I don't know. You got Brian and Fiona doing Saga. You've got Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips doing absolutely legendary work. I'm just going to keep talking forever. It's very hard for me to,
It's an ongoing debate here on the show, but those were really good. Those were very solid answers. Ryan, I'll look to you, and maybe I'd like to hear if you could create a Mount Rushmore of Image comic characters, of your favorite Image comic characters. Who would be on that Mount Rushmore?
Man, I'm terrible at favorite questions because, like Robert's saying, it's kind of hard just to pick 4, but the top ones.
Also, next time we go to a con, Scotty Young's going to be like, you didn't even mention.
I am honored that you think Scotty Young is listening to the show, but maybe this episode is the one that he decides to tune in on.
Character. Let's see, Savage Dragon.
There
Spawn,
we go. I like it.
Pitt, the Max. There's the Rushmore. I'll just stop there. Sorry, everybody.
Solid list.
Stop anyone.
Solid list.
Good stuff.
I can say I challenge anyone to make a better list than that. All right, gents, I want to move on to a special question that I've been saving for this interview. I reached out to. I like to think of myself any opportunity that I get to bridge the gap between creators like yourself who are putting their blood, sweat, and tears into making said comics, and maybe bridging the gap with retailers who are doing, putting the blood, sweat, and tears into selling the books and, building a comic community out there. I try my best to fit in that role. And in this case, the next question comes from the owner of my favorite comic shop. His name is Ben Kingsbury. He's the owner of Gotham City Limit comic shop here in Jacksonville, Florida. He's got a question for you too about the new series. Okay. And here he is.
Hey, Robert and Ryan. I'm Ben Kay, owner of a local comic shop in Jacksonville, Florida, Gotham City Limit. Thanks so much for taking some time to answer a quick question. So you both have created incredible worlds like Walking Dead, Invincible, Grizzly Shark, and more. And then comic fans love to spot hidden gems or Easter eggs that you've snuck into these stories. Can you each share a moment of your favorite Easter egg, personal reference, or comic in-joke that comes to mind immediately? I'll leave you to answer this question. Thanks again for making amazing worlds. We literally couldn't do it without you. And remember, Short Box Nation, always take it to the limit.
Big shout outs to Ben.
The first thing that comes to mind for Easter eggs, because he brought up Grizzly Shark, and so I did put quite a few Grizzly Shark Easter eggs in Invincible, like on, movie marquees or even on the cover on issue 138 or whatever with the Marky. He's got the shark and it says GS, little grizzly shark thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd always shout out a bunch of weird stuff. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. Robert, what about you? Favorite Easter egg?
Gosh, I mean, does it count as an Easter egg that we tied in the issue 33 to the Marvel Team Up 14 story where Invincible met Spider-Man, and so you get like a little bit of spider webbing and stuff in the Invincible comic like that. That was kind of fun.
That was the best.
I feel like there's like, I don't know, man. I feel like I forget so much stuff.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know. I'm sure there's other Easter eggs and stuff. I mean, most of it is stuff that Corey or Ryan like drew into the pages that I didn't have anything to do with. There's Charlie Brown and Jan Silent Bob and the characters from Venture Brothers and like various different like little unauthorized cameos that show up here and there. That's a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't know. Now I feel like I'm rambling too much again. Damn it, I'm gonna stop.
No, if anything, you're bringing me back to some fond memories of going to the comic shop, when a new issue of Invincible dropped and everyone kind of talking about like, yo, did you catch that? Did you catch that? What about that Easter Spider-Man? All of that. So I think it's some of the fun of Invincible on top of the action, the story, the characters is like just the extra thought and just those minor details. And I guess in closing to talk, wrap up on Battlebeast. I would like to know what is right now. There's only 4 issues solicited. I'm not sure if it's going to be ongoing or past that, but I would like to know what is your favorite issue of this series that you cannot wait for fans to like get to. Like Ryan, is there a page or a panel that you feel like you absolutely went above and beyond in drawing? I'm sorry, did I say Ryan? And then Robert, same question to you. I guess is there a page or panel that you're looking forward to people read it in the new Battlebeast series?
Gosh, there's stuff in every single issue that I cannot wait for people to see.
Yeah,
I can't say it because it'd be a spoiler. So,
yeah, issue 4 is pretty exciting. It introduces some pretty awesome new characters. I think there's some pretty cool stuff in issue 6 that I think people are going to be excited about. I'm very excited for people to see issue 7. This is a regular series. We're going to be going
for a long
time. I think the stuff that starts happening in issue 10 is people are really going to like that. If I have to, I'd say probably issue 10. I think is probably going to be the most anticipated issue for Ryan and I. That people are really going to like. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Issue 53 is going to be.
Ryan's like, wait, I don't think I signed on for that part, but hell yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Well, gents, thank you so much for your time. I know you guys got a busy schedule and day. Thank you for chatting about Battlebeast. I've already got it on my pull list, and I can't wait to finally get some Invincible goodness back in comic book form. You guys are awesome.
Oh, hey, it was great being here. Thanks for talking to us, and yeah, thanks for supporting the book.